Hey guys, Nate McChesney here, and today I'm about to do something that I never thought that I'd do. Today, I'm going to be honest with the world, tell you my biggest insecurity in life. I'm going to share with you over the course of the next 10 minutes how my life has gone from some one extreme to the other, of being extremely positive and hopeful for the future, living on a beautiful beach in Costa Rica, having a lot of money, feeling great about the future, to losing everything, hating myself, living on welfare, going through a divorce, and finally sleeping out of the back of my Volkswagen Passat for over 60 nights. I'm going to share with you how the last 5 years of my life has felt like nothing more than one failure after another. But then I'm going to tell you how I've changed and the person that I'm going to become. See, for my entire life, I've had this one huge irrational fear which has stopped me from doing countless things. See, I believed foolishly that I wasn't as good as other people or as smart as other people, didn't have the confidence like other people, and basically have never really liked myself. Now, I know there's people out there that are watching this thinking, oh man, is this dude going to talk about hating himself for 10 minutes? And no, but honestly, I know it's taboo to talk about this stuff, but honestly, how can you live a fulfilling life if you don't like yourself? Or worse, if you hate yourself? I know that I can't. And I've run from this fear for my entire life until today because I finally realized that this fear is going nowhere. And then until I have the courage to do something like this, tell you who I really am, let you in and see what happens, well, I'll never live the life that I want. So that's what this is. Now, to be fair with myself, one of the main reasons that I have suffered from low self-esteem is because as a child I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and then 3 years ago with ADD. Now, both of these on their own, ADD and dyslexia, are both strong causers of low self-esteem. But when you put them both together, it can be doubly damaging to your self-esteem. Don't get me wrong. My point of the story today is not to be depressing. I'm not going to make excuses, and I definitely don't want your pity. See, my hope, in fact, is that my story today is inspirational. Because today is a really, really good day. Because today I earned $4,500 as an online marketer. Now, today didn't happen because I was more motivated than I ever have been before in life to succeed. I was, but that's not the reason that today happened. See, today happened because I've finally begun to change the way that I think. In its simplest terms, think positive. If you think positive in life, you get positive results. If you think negative, you get negative results. I definitely speak from experience. I've lived both extremes. I've been both extremely happy and then extremely depressed. In 1999, right after graduating from the University of Denver with a master's degree in social work, my parents gave me the incredibly generous gift of over $600,000 in the form of a trust fund. So, with that social work degree, I decided that learning Spanish would be extremely beneficial. So, I moved to Costa Rica and I lived on a beautiful little beach town from 1999 to 2004. While I was there, I felt like I could do no wrong. I was constantly thinking positive thoughts. Consequently, positive things happened to me all the time. I was more confident than ever. People were drawn to me. I felt like I was a magnet for good. I attracted this great job as the director of the English program at the language school on the beach. Attracted this beautiful, smart, confident Costa Rican woman into my life and her beautiful 8-year-old son. 3 years later, we were married on a beach, surrounded by friends and family. Life was brimming with opportunity, and the future was bright. So right after I got married, we all moved to Denver, and I got into real estate. My thought or my thinking was that I could do real estate in both places, eventually in Costa Rica and then back in Colorado as well. But as soon as I got into real estate, I began to feel those old feelings of self-doubt and anxiety. And I began to convince myself to not do the things that I knew I needed to do in order to succeed, such as calling friends and asking for their business. In that fear and anxious state, I chose not to do those things and convinced myself that they would be better served with another, more prepared realtor. 3 years passed, and we bought things that we never should have bought. Our monthly budget got way out of hand. And at the end of those 3 years, we'd burned through nearly half the trust fund. You see, I thought because I was a good person and I had good intentions that eventually things would work out and my friends would start to call and that my boss would start to give me some of his listings eventually. When those things didn't happen, I started to get angry and I blamed my surroundings. I got angry at my friends for using other realtors. I blamed my wife for not allowing us to move back to Costa Rica. Being around family was often painful and humiliating. But mainly, I was angry at myself for sitting back, watching it all fall apart, and doing nothing. 3 more years passed with similar results. By the end of 2010, the trust fund was now completely gone. I was now out of real estate. Economy was horrible. Couldn't sell my home. getting zero response from the resumes I was sending out. We were now living on a small monthly loan from my parents. We were living on food stamps. My wife was working at Macy's pretty much full time. I was taking care of the kids full time and looking for an online opportunity so that I could move us back to Costa Rica. The fighting between my wife and I was getting worse and worse and worse. Divorce was now becoming a real serious topic. The only reason I didn't want one is because I hated the idea of losing my 3 kids 50% of the time. I can honestly say that 2010 and 2011 were the darkest years of my life. And I'm ashamed to admit this, but things felt so hopeless for me that I began to envision ways of ending my life and making it look like an accident. Now I know because of my friends or because of my family and because of my kids, I never would have done that. However, I just want you to know just how dark things got. So another year passed, and now it was 2012, beginning of 2012, and I've been through a series of failed online internet opportunities, and I found a job at that point at a restaurant, bussing tables. With tips, the pay was actually pretty decent, and it allowed me to continue working on an online opportunity during the day, take care of the kids, work on the computer during the day, and my wife, and work at night at the restaurant. And my wife was now working as an insurance agent. She wasn't making a ton of money, but she was showing promise. And so our financial situation was a little bit better at that point. We're no longer receiving help from my parents at that point, but we were still on the food stamps. And the fighting between my wife and I was getting worse and worse. We were now both in full agreement that we needed to get a divorce. The problem is that financially we couldn't afford to separate. We could only afford the one house. Out of sheer frustration and exhaustion from the fights, over the course of a year, I spent over 60 nights sleeping in the back of my car. I'd simply lay down in the back seat, sleep with my feet in the trunk, and pray that no one broke in while I slept. So another year passed in that beautiful situation, and things were still pretty miserable. However, my good friend introduced me at that point to an online marketing company called Empower Network, and instantly I was intrigued, is what they said. As they said that in order to succeed in life and at business, you first need to have the right mindset. And without the right mindset, well, you fail at every business. In a nutshell, they changed everything for me. Now, I know there are people out there that are watching this and thinking, what does this guy know? Parents gave him everything, then he lost it all. Welcome to the real world, pal. And I get that. But honestly, I just want you to know that I never felt like I deserved that money. I certainly knew I hadn't earned it. I felt extremely grateful and thankful and glad to have it, but I knew I hadn't earned it. So, one of my favorite authors, T. Harv Eker, would say that my negative mind or my inner world was so poor that I was never ready to have that money or have that wealth. So I hated myself, failed like a champion, and I lost it all. I can't change the past, but thank God in life we get do-overs, and I can change the future. Because you see, I'm not the same naive, unprepared, self-loathing person that I was 15 years ago. I've experienced difficult struggles, and I've survived. So like I said, Power Network changed everything for me. It took my negative mindset and set it to positive, one for success. It showed me that for the rest of my life, I need to read powerful books for 30 minutes every day. And that for the rest of my life, I need to watch powerful videos and listen to powerful audio messages that they offer thousands of. They showed me how to forgive. My soon-to-be ex-wife and I, who hated each other 6 months ago, are now good friends. And I told her that even when we're divorced, we're always going to be good friends. It's the only way to live. You can't hate people. They showed me how to want more out of life. They motivated me to want more out of life. They showed me how to make goals, set goals. My goal now is to be living on a beach in Costa Rica with my kids, working with Empower Network, making over $10,000 a month residual income on or before October 1st, 2014. They motivated me to want more than I've ever wanted before in life and to take risks in life. Soon I want to stand on a stage and speak in front of thousands. After I accomplish more in life, I want to write books that help people with low self-esteem. I want to help many, many others achieve financial freedom in this company and live the life that they've always wanted. Finally, I want to help people. I chose social work for a reason. I want to give back. One day, I want to build schools and help the poor in Costa Rica. And me telling my story today is not just for me getting over this fear. See, it's also for my parents, who I love. I don't want them to worry about me anymore, and I know because I'm better than ever. I want them to know that. It's for my kids, who mean the world to me, my 3 kids. I never want to see them struggle internally as I have. and I want to be the type of person they can draw strength from and emulate, and I want to give them confidence. So that's my story. I want to thank you sincerely for taking the time to listen. If you're a friend, we've lost contact, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to reconnect. If you don't reach out, well, then I hope that my story inspired you. Please feel free to send it to others. Finally, if you're listening to my story and you're interested in learning more about the company that changed my life and offers 100% commissions, please feel free to check out my blog at www.nateblog.net. Click on the Watch It Now, the yellow Watch It Now icon at the top of the page, put in your email, and listen as Dave Wood, the founder of the company, tells you all about it. Ironically, Dave Wood lives in Costa Rica. So thanks again. And lastly, I'd love for you to join my team. I love this company. I'm extremely grateful to this company. I love its vision. I want to do great things in this company. So thanks again. And remember that your life can be as beautiful as you want it to be, or as horrible as you allow it to be. Your past does not have to be your future. The decision is all yours.